cheeses.
Cheeses?
I like Edam and cheddar.
Oh, fuck off.
Oh, we're now going into a full-fledged conversation about cheese.
Yeah, that's not...
The only cheese I want is yours, Dan.
I'm not sure how I feel about this conversation anymore.
Nice.
Do the fucking introduction.
I did it last week. If one of you guys want to do it this week. All right, cool.
Do the introduction.
Oh, hello all. Welcome to the NewNerds Podcast, the podcast where we talk about music, games, and whatever the hell is going on in this world. Hosting this is your boy, Ridge Dasher, your other boy, I forgot your name, Rabid Reviewer, and me, Yo Filet.
So last week it was the less than pleasant rubber reviewer, and this week he doesn't even fucking know who I am. Cool.
Well, I mean, it has been confirmed.
Better, surely.
It has been confirmed. I have outsiders.
No. Next week Ben is doing the intro because Ben, Ben cares. Ben knows this stuff.
I
Ben's
was going to do a nice bit for you.
Shut
I just
fuck
forgot.
up.
Wow. Manners. For once, I'm starting this week off as opposed to one of you boys. I say that this is literally the second podcast, so it's like...
Yeah, I don't know what you're on about there, Joel. You say that
so many episodes.
Right, I've got a series of fun stories. I'm going to start off with the first one, which is relatively topical considering we've had the whole Black Lives Matter movement kicking off, and it's on the topic of statues actually. So there is a suggestion, at least a petition as well, that for a KKK memorial, whereabouts is it, in Tennessee, to be replaced by a statue of Dolly Parton.
Why Dolly Parton? Of all things, I'm all for taking that statue down because the KKK, what they stood for, not good. Black Lives Matter, the stuff that they're doing at the moment is really important. But why replace it with Dolly Parton?
Well, we'll go down and find a little bit more. So this one comes from The Independent. I've got two sources, The Independent and NME for this. So this is the suggestion from a politician, actually. So this kind of was like a Tennessee politician was like, right, we should do this. It is Republican politician, a guy called Jeremy Faison has called for it to be taken down. If we want to preserve history, then let's tell it the right way. He continued, right now there are 8 alcoves in the Capitol building. 7 are filled with white men. I could think of 100 other people deserving of that post. How about getting a lady in there? My daughter is 16 and would love for her to come to the Capitol and see a lady. What's wrong with the women's suffragette activist and Dallas Dudley getting in the alcove? What's wrong with someone like Dolly Parton being put in the alcove? Which, and this is the one of the things why it would be Dolly Parton, is the fact that she was born and raised in the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee.
But there's just so many people that you could put who are better. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So what I'm getting is literally the reason they've chosen her is because she's famous and she's from nearby. That's literally it.
Well, also the fact that she's a female figure. So it's kind of one of those things where I think it's okay. It's not necessarily empowerment through having a black female, for example, but it's a step in the right direction of saying, let's not have a traditional white man who may have stood for old white standards.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but I think if you're replacing a KKK statue, then to add to it, I think you should definitely replace the KKK statue with someone who is black and has great importance, or even if they're not black and they are of white ethnicity, then they should definitely have done something for the movement of black Black lives. Do you know what I mean? So I just think it's a bit like, oh, we could have this person who's really important, but Dolly Parton's cute and she's from the mountains, so like we'll go with Dolly Parton, and it's just a bit fucking stupid. I think, like,
in my opinion, though, if this was like an interview where he hadn't really prepped it and he was just thinking of names, it's like, well, it's
a first famous name from Tennessee.
He just he just went in before and was like, I'll say Dolly Parton. No one will fucking do that. And then he's like, oh fuck, they actually went through with it. What the fuck?
Well, this is the thing going on with on the theme of Dolly Parton and all that. There is now actually a petition. It's started by a guy called Alex Parsons. So the actual KKK statue is a statue of the Grand Wizard Forrest. I forget what's his first name.
Dumbledore.
Dumbledore Forrest. Who was the former Nathan Bedford Forrest? There we go. So
wizards. They actually called themselves wizards.
Yeah, did you not know much about the KKK? They have like this hierarchy. It's not like commander or whatever. It was like the Grand Wizards.
Grand cunt.
True.
Anyway, sorry.
I suppose they went for wizard because it's like, oh, we're gonna wish the black away, and yeah. No. I was trying to. I was trying to put my mind. See, this is the thing. I'm trying to put my mind in, or myself in the place of someone who would be a KKK activist. And to be honest, I can't think of any sensible reason why they would call themselves wizards.
I can't think of a sensible reason why they'd start the fucking KKK.
An even better, a more astute observation, one would say. But yeah, so there you go. Dolly Parton supposedly could be replacing the KKK's Grand Wizard.
Fantastic.
I mean, they're taking down the statue of the Grand Wizard, but yeah.
I can't wait until they replace the fucking statue of Winston Churchill with fucking, I don't know, Dappy.
That's, oh man. Imagine if that was a thing though.
No,
like, and that would like be proper when he was peak noncy looking with his like hat all the way like up here.
So like you have right now.
Yeah.
Wasn't worth it for the joke, mate. It wasn't worth it.
I did not appreciate that comment.
Don't be a nonsense.
Also a fair point. Anyway, moving on. Oh dear. So again,
Ben's like that really sensible dad who has like the two most disruptive kids. He's like, why the fuck did we give birth to these pieces of shit?
One of them he dropped on the head. The other one he just kind of left.
Neglected.
Yeah.
He just neglected. And that's me.
He went round to the corner shop for a pack of cigarettes.
And then burnt them on my skin.
Specifically your foreskin. Anyway, next story. The PM's plane. Oh, my word. So, with all coronavirus going around, we would think, we need some fat dollar pouring.
Can I just... How are you moving on from burning his foreskin straight into the PM's plane? What even?
And why the foreskin out of everything? I said you're burning my skin, and your first thing is, the foreskin.
I like to play things off smoothly.
Oh my fucking...
Anyway. So, the PM's plane.
Yeah, away from this absolute ridiculous conversation we've had.
Monstrosity.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, with all the things going on, coronavirus and all that, we'd be thinking, we need to pour some money into research.
I already know what's coming.
Prime Minister, not
I
for the
already know
Prime
what's
Minister.
coming.
His plane is to be rebranded at the cost of £900,000.
I read this, saw this. Why? I mean...
I hope it fucking crashes.
I mean, there's people that pay, what, like £5 for a skin in a video game. He's going to make us pay 9 mil, whatever, for a skin on a plane. Like,
It's ridiculous.
Just go down to Quick Fix, pick up some paint, and go do it yourself. It would cost you what, £5?
It just reminds me of that grade A special move he did when he got a jacket which said Prime Minister on it.
Oh no, he didn't, did he?
Yeah, when he got elected.
I hate this man. He's a sort of twat to have the fridge magnet that sort of says like, "Have a good day, Prime Minister," and then as he leaves his house, he pulls out his fucking like flask and it has Prime Minister written on the fucking side of it. And then as he's leaving his house, he puts on his coat which says Prime Minister as he goes to his fucking house of pedos to be the Prime Minister. Fuck off, man.
He's the sort of person, like, there is that person who will drive around a Mini, specifically a woman that will drive around a Mini with fake eyelashes on it, except it will just be a picture of his massive face stuck on the hood, and it's like, oh, did you know I'm the Prime Minister?
I've got a picture of him also having a t-shirt that says I'm with stupid, but it's just got a picture of Jeremy Corbyn on it. And then he's just got his like big old I'm the Prime Minister jacket on, and like, look at me.
Oh.
The people think I'm so clever. And it's like, no, Boris. No.
I think you're a twat.
Right, what? Oh, so the plane itself is being repainted in the colours of the Union flag to better represent the UK abroad.
Great, I can't wait till they fly the fucking most racist piece of shit above and everyone can see how much of a fucking ridiculous fucking country we are. Fantastic.
I feel ever since, like, the past few years with Tories, we have just become a joke of a country.
We have, like, this really weird story. I was talking to a bunch of people on Omegle this morning. I don't know why. Yeah, it was like 4 o'clock in the morning. I came off of it at 9:30 this morning. Don't ask. But I was talking.
Pictures.
Yeah, man, plenty of dick. I saw a guy shove a deodorant. This is actually going to be true. I saw a guy shove a deodorant can up his asshole, and it was the most interesting thing I've ever seen. But anyway, moving on. Yeah, I was talking to some American guy, and he was just like, "Do you guys laugh at us as much as we laugh at you?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "So we have like obviously all these riots going on. Our president trying to kill us with our own military." And he's like, "But then we always look at you and go like, well, you've got a fucking twat as prime minister who's fucking your entire country." And I was like, wow, even America that's on fire can still look at us and go, what a bunch of fucking dicks.
See, this is the thing. I think there is this thing where we sometimes take the piss out of America in terms of like the South Country and inbreeding and all that, but nothing weighs as much as you've got a prime minister who will spend £1 million of taxpayers' money just to make himself feel important.
And if not that, then he's repairing a big fucking clock.
It's like, we must make sure that we're absolutely British, okay?
Repair that big fucking clock. I need to know the time.
I saw this video this morning of this little girl that's gone on whatever morning show, and she's just there like, I want to be the new voice of Big Ben. And these presenters are sat there, and she's just like, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, and then she just hits this gong, and the presenter's just like, yeah, woo.
I've seen that, and it's so awkward because like all the music cuts out and it like slowly zooms in on her face, and she's there just like big bug. Like, why am I watching this at 8 o'clock in the morning whilst I'm eating my fucking cereal?
It almost reminds me of that weird clip with the boy and the girl just going, Bendy Wendy, and they're just doing this weird shit. It's like,
see, that is actually like BBC Kids television though, and it's like, what even?
I guarantee that some guy just got absolutely baked one evening and was like, you know what, this would be a fun children's episode. It's just him and his mate just doing this together, just slapping each other's hands.
Okay, that'll do.
Yeah. But going back onto the topic of the plane, as you'd expect, most people are not happy. We have tweets from Lib Dem leader Sir Ed Davey saying the drug dexamethasone that can potentially save the lives of people with coronavirus costs £5 per patient. Boris Johnson could have bought 180,000 doses of that. But instead, he's painting a flag on a plane. The SNP say the PM won't find an extra £20 a week to support the most vulnerable in society and help parents feed their children in these difficult times, but he can find almost £1 million to paint a plane. Westminster is broken. Surely we can do better. Actually, that statement, I think, is very important considering with was it Mark Rashford with the school, the school meals.
I would like to point out, though, very quickly, that because of that, Katie Hopkins actually got permanently banned from Twitter.
I saw that.
Yes, I saw, and thank goodness we can have less toxic shit on the platform.
Thank fuck for that.
Woo! She's not, like, I get conflicting, like, two different sides. You've got the left-hand view and the right-hand view and all this. And I might disagree more with some of the right-hand stuff, but like some of the stuff on the right, like I spoke to one of my friends, he's now like a Labour or whatever, but at the time he was a Tory party and he actually had like membership to the Tory party. And I spoke to him about this a few times and it's like, well, actually he's got a reasonable point as to why he supports some of these policies. But with Katie Hopkins, it's not just, I'm trying to advocate for this right-hand policy because I think it will be the betterment of the country. No, it's, I want to propel this idea to tell you all how much you're all wankers. She does not use her platform for any form of positivity.
Mate,
I heard that during an interview was asked about kids' names, and she says, I don't like kids' names that are named after places. And the presenter's like,
Schofield's just like, isn't your child called India?
Yeah.
No, I mean, like her latest scandal that she'd done, I don't know if any of you saw it, but basically there was a post about a victim of sex trafficking, I believe it was. And she was like 15, 16 at the time, and obviously she'd survived it, and everyone was like, well done, and obviously rightfully so, because that's fucking horrible. And she was a survivor of it. And Katie Hopkins, I can't remember exactly what she said, so I'm paraphrasing this badly, but it was something along the lines of, but it's probably got something to do with how you dress, to be honest. And I was like, what is wrong with you? And obviously a lot of people then went up in arms, and rightfully so. And then there was a petition signed, and I think it was like in 17 hours, it got 75,000 signatures.
See, this is the thing, though. I can't tell if she is a character like Jake Paul is, to the point that she has become her own character, or if she was just a spiteful bitch to start off with.
I think she's just a spiteful bitch, mate, to be honest.
Because I think about, like, at least with the YouTube side of things, you've got Jake Paul. I don't think he's like this massive douche necessarily. Like I say, I don't think he's this massive douche. I think a lot of it is a facade, but he's become lost in his character so much that it is how he identifies with himself. And you do have that, I think, where people get blurred between this line of the character that they play and who they really are. Which is nice to see, at least some celebrities who may have been caught for scandals, for example, take a step back, be like, right, this isn't who I am. I'm playing up for the camera, and then take that step back.
Logan Paul.
Yeah. I'd even say JJ, if we're continuing on the YouTube things. Like, and it's weird because, like, when I say it's not like he's been in a scandal, but he has been like this overcocky, douchey character in the past. And it's just more like, well, yeah, that's not who I am. I'm all about music.
Yeah.
But we've massively gone off tangent on what was a topic about the PM's plain being rebranded.
To a girl on the TV doing Big Ben noises to Katie Hopkins, to KSI, Jake Paul and Logan Paul. And
man, this has been the most interesting developed podcast we've done so far. I look at the
of the two that we've done.
Yeah. Well, it's all over the place. Can't speak.
Fucking hell.
Looking at the price it took to rebrand it had reminded me of last week's topic about just the 700 or so grand spent on the bloody drone case. And it just makes me wonder, how do we...
It's right, lads. He didn't actually use the taxpayers' money. He luckily went on a train and he found 3 kilograms of gold. And that's what he used to pay for his plane to be fucking... You know what? I've been so mad about that since last week. I've been so pissed off that I've actually called my mum and told her about it. And I was like, I fucking hate the story so much. It's real.
Right. Wait. We'll cut that out.
Joel, I'd like to ask you a question, by the way.
Yeah.
What is up with your ceiling?
What do you mean, what's up with it?
It looks like half the paper is starting to peel off your ceiling.
It's a double paint effect.
Oh shit! I see it.
It's a double paint effect where you just kind of do that.
No, it's not. It does just look like there is a literal piece of paper hanging down from the top of your...
You mean this?
Ceiling. Yeah.
That's a lampshade.
Oh, it's a weird looking lampshade.
It's a shit lampshade. I want to get rid of the lampshade. Final story, because, oh my word, this has been the most interesting news segment. I'm going to actually send this to you guys in chat to watch. I found this article on the BBC initially, which says, how do children learn about sex? If it's via pornography, a New Zealand public advertising campaign is warning that may not be a great thing. The ad with 2 porn actors showing up at a boy's home has since gone viral. So just let me know when you guys have joined.
I'm in it.
Yeah, I'm in.
All right. It's just... I had to watch it, and I'm just a little bit right with this.
Hiya, I'm Sue. This is Derek. We're here because your son just looked us up online, to watch us.
Matt, darling, there's some people here to see you. So he watches you online?
Yeah, on his laptop.
iPad, PlayStation.
His phone, your phone.
Smart TV, projector.
Yeah, anyway, we usually perform for adults, but your son's just a kid. He might not know how relationships actually work. We don't even talk about consent, do we? No, we just get straight to it.
Yeah, and I'd never act like that in real life.
Nah. Hey, Maddie. You alright?
Okay, Sandra, stay calm.
Stay calm, Sandra.
All right, Maddie. It sounds like it's time to have a talk about the difference between what you see online
Just
and
the
real
thumb
life
up.
relationships. No judgment.
Many young Kiwis are using porn to learn about sex. Keep
Many
it
young
real
Kiwis.
online. Get help and advice at keepitrealonline.gov.
That line tickled me. Many Kiwis use online pornography to learn about sex.
Literally like a Kiwi bird just sat in front of its laptop just watching a couple of people get at it.
See, I always struggle because I know Kiwis are an animal, but whenever I hear Kiwi, I always never associate it with the animal when someone's talking about New Zealand. I will always associate it with the fruit. So I just imagine these pair of furry ass fruit just sitting there ooh, yeah, ooh, yeah. Dan's just I have no idea what to think about this.
I don't know what to say, man. For the first time in my life, I'm speechless. I have so many questions. First of all, why the fuck did the mum open the door to a naked man and a naked woman and go, this is normal? And then call her son to come and look at this man's very big cock and her tits, yeah. But there's
one moment I want to skip to on this. It's just, there is, whereabouts is it? Oh, wow, that's...
I love that the guy also has no neck.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Look at how hench this guy is. He's built like an absolute tank. Oh, and it's... Yeah, just look at him. He does have no neck. He's just solidly built yeah.
There is no differentiation at all between where his jaw starts.
Is that fucking... Is that fucking Big Ed?
It's just the way how there's this massive hulking body as well. It's yeah, I'd never talk to a woman like that. I'm respectful, mate. But But the video itself is less entertaining, I find, than the actual things that come off of it. So this comes from 7 News in Australia, talking about.
This is Australian.
But what I love about this is not necessarily how it's highlighted that this porn ad is a thing. It's the transcription of it. So let me just read out. So the government ad shows Sue and Derek rotting up to a typical suburban home where Sarah and her son Matty live. Sue and Derek appear to have forgotten to put on their clothes. We're here because your son just looked us up online, to watch us, says Sue to gawking mum Sarah. We usually perform for adults, but your son is just a kid. He may not know about how relationships actually work. And so the ad goes on. Sarah calls to her son to come to the door. Matty drops his cornflakes. The transcription is golden. It's an interesting thing how. Again, it's one of those things where it's like, how do you, who on earth thought of this thing? Like, how would you even get around to going, oh yeah, let's do this for an idea?
You know what? I really fancy making an advert where a big hench guy with a small cock and a woman who
and no neck
and some woman with her tits out go to a little kid's door and go, hey, do you remember seeing us? Yeah, I was eating his cum about 20 minutes ago when he was watching my fucking video, and then he put his fist in my vagina and spread me in half. It's nice to meet you. I'm Doris. Shut up.
We just want to talk about safe sex, if like that fisting thing, you got to put a condom around your fist, mate.
Always make sure that if you're going to fist someone, then you should put a fucking glove around your fist so that you don't get any shit in your fist. And then you put it arse, and then you
don't forget the STIs,
and that's how you do what we like to call the.
Don't forget the STIs, mate. You gotta avoid them. Oh, so I wanted to see if these were actually porn stars that they got for it.
Of course you did, Joel. Of course you did.
Well,
I mean, to be fair, I wouldn't mind watching a woman get fucking destroyed.
Not even, I think, necessarily to see if it was. I think to see how legitimate it is as, we're porn actresses, but Sue and Derek are made-up characters, sadly.
Fuck!
I wanted to see Sue and Derek go at it. I
just wanted to see Sue. I wanted to see her walk into that fucking house, grab them cornflakes, and shag that kid.
That might be something called a little bit illegal. Yeah, the guy on the left is a bodybuilder.
Really?
Fuck.
Why?
His name's Paris Theodosio.
I mean, he's definitely not a neck builder, is he? Let's be honest.
I wonder how someone gets to that stage where they are just
living muscle.
They're literally just a rectangle. It's like, wow, you've managed to.
I thought you were going to say they're literally just erect.
I mean that as well.
I'm Derek, and I'm constantly fucking.
Right, but I think that's enough of the.
Is my internet playing up?
A little bit, but not too badly. Yeah, we're now onto games, game arenas with the one and only Ridge. What have you got for us this week?
No, not me.
No, it's
no,
me.
Not Ridge. I mean, Rabbids.
You did this on the stream as well. You were like, "Oh yeah, how's your game news ready?" I'm like, "I'm not doing it."
And the fact that on Messenger before it's even started, I said, "Am I doing game news?" And you went, "I."
Yeah, no, I meant Dan. But I completely got the names. You both have our names. You shouldn't have Ridge and Rabid. Someone change it, please.
They just call me Dan.
I mean, that also is a show.
Okay, so I have 3 bits of news. So some new games got included into the Video Game Hall of Fame.
Ooh, what are they?
Take a guess.
Halo?
No.
Call of Duty.
It's games that you wouldn't expect, and when I saw this,
want it to be like Tekken or
Street Fighter would be a good one. Not Super Mario. Super Mario is gonna be in there.
Super Mario is already in there. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll be surprised if it wasn't. Uno?
No, there was 4 added in. I'll tell you the lesser ones that no one really cares about, and that's Centipede.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Actually, to be fair,
yeah.
no, that's like everyone had that on their phones when their phones were just bricks.
Yeah, that got
Centipede
added.
is never what I called it though. It was always Snake.
Yeah, Snake for me. That and King's Quest.
Yep, no, I do know that one.
And then the next one, which was really, really confusing to me, was Bejeweled. Bejeweled is now
was like
the
the
video
OG,
game Hall of Fame.
That was the OG,
The OG
Candy Crush.
Yeah.
And
I mean, yeah, if you look at the number of games that have been inspired by that and that followed that kind of style, it does make sense, but it's like...
Oh, yes, I remember that game for its amazing story.
Bloody hell. I'm going to take a punt at the last one. Is it RuneScape?
No. No, it is not. It is Minecraft.
I thought that got added like a little while ago.
According
They
to
only
this,
just added it.
2 days ago. Yep, 2 days ago it got
Wow.
added in.
Also, another good
Yeah.
one that spawned a lot of clones. I remember there was one clone that I used to play on the Xbox before they had the... not Java edition. What's it called? The other one that's not
Console
Java.
edition.
Yeah, whatever the console edition is. There's like 2 different versions, whatever. It's to do with like the seeding, I think, or the map system. But yeah, there was something which was like Castle Z or Zombies or whatever. And it was like Minecraft with zombies, and you'd have like guns and all that shit in it. It was not good, but it was incredibly fun.
I think I read somewhere that Mojang are already working on like Minecraft 2, but not. They're doing another version of it that's going to follow a similar gameplay, but different style of graphics, slightly different story route.
Mad.
I was going to say, because I think Minecraft, this is the thing, I think people want the second like version of games which don't need it because they're kind of like an open source thing. Not like when I mean open source, it's kind of like an ongoing project. So there is no, it's like with World of Warcraft, for example, except their new games are expansion patches and all that. But with Minecraft, it doesn't need to have a second one, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I
mean,
same with Rocket League.
It's not second in the sense of having like a new story. It is more just the fact that they're releasing a second similar game.
I'll tell you.
And that's after they've just released Dungeons or whatever. They've
done
a roguelike.
Yeah,
So.
like if it's going to be in the Minecraft series, it will be more, I think, aesthetic approach as opposed to.
Yeah.
Well,
on the
Minecraft. Okay.
No, sorry, no, you go.
I was going to say Minecraft has joined, so I'll read out each game that's actually officially in the Hall of Fame.
Hall of
Games. And then if I'll say the name and just tell me whether you expected it to be in there. Okay, so we've got Frogger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can get that.
GoldenEye 007.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, hello.
Guitar Hero.
Yep.
Yeah.
NBA Jam.
No.
I can kind of understand it. It wouldn't have been one of my choices, but
Nokia Snake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super Smash Brothers Melee.
Yeah. Hands down.
Uncharted 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't expect that, to be honest. Did not expect that. And where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
What?
I don't even know what it is.
No.
Nope, but yeah.
Where? More like, what in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
Yeah, it's it's a weird list. It's sort of I was very surprised that Guitar Hero was in there, to be honest.
I mean, it was the first really of its kind.
It's a rhythm game that actually took off and had
Yeah.
like it was a commercial
first big hit.
boom.
And I mean, okay, soon after you have like Rock Band and that stuff, but Guitar Hero was always the one that people really remembered, and that's the one that had like the bigger
Well, there were
series,
other
up until
rhythm
recently,
games.
I think. But
Yeah.
There've been other rhythm games like the Donkey Kong
there's
one with
plenty
the
of-
whatever those drums are. So rhythm gaming has been around for a while. I
Yeah.
think longer than people expect. But
They also have started implicating rhythm into games. Like you look at Batman Arkham series and how they use like rhythm for that and everything.
Yeah.
So it's definitely like then provided a leeway for games of the
I
future.
mean, there's one of the new Zelda games. The whole thing is set to the music. All of the characters, as they move, follow the music, and it's all about hitting things in rhythm.
is that Ocarina by any chance?
I can't remember. I don't think so, but
Because it's the title that I know from the Zelda series that would make sense.
they've released like 5 in the space of a year, like 5, or they've announced 5 kind of new little ones, some of which are re-releases, remastered versions and things. But
Well, my next piece of news is this is quite a weird one. A lot of people aren't happy. I mean, I'll tell you what it is in a sec. I'll say beforehand. I understand what they're going for, and I think like it's definitely a good move. But I don't understand why people are so pissed off about it because it's such a small, minute thing that I would never fucking notice it anyway. But Fortnite have officially removed all of the police cars that are in the game, and people have gone mad about it. People
have gone mad
because
they do nothing. They're a resource grind.
Because I think a lot of it is just because they think that they're taking it too far by like picking out the small minute things and taking it out. But I just think like it's such a small part of it I
think also as a company, if they didn't do something like that, then people might get the wrong idea, and there'd be an equally sized argument in the opposite direction saying, why haven't they done this? So I think they've probably done the better thing in removing it and not keeping it in, because it shows that they are in support of the movement, even if it's like only a small detail.
I didn't realize what was actually being implicated until you started talking about it there. Because at first I was like, oh, it's only a minor thing in a game. It's a resource scrap. Or why do people care? Because people on Fortnite play because like it's pretty much been the same game with like a few tiny tweaks. People play it because of the different repeatability value they get out of it. And then when you're saying, oh, okay, it's a political statement, it's like, all right, that's fair. I don't know why people would be there are 2 people I can imagine, types of people I can imagine complaining about this. Number 1,
racists.
Yeah, we'll go with the most obvious one. It will be people saying, oh, this is an attack against free speech. Oh, why are you doing this? Or this is corporation. And they are very closet racist. Or 2, it's people who are so anal about things in a game that change, which is going to be a small number in comparison to the former, because I mean, you get people complaining at games every day. It's not anything new. So something like that. And again, for Fortnite, it's a car. Does anyone care? No, because everyone's aiming to kill each other in that game.
I mean, of all the games to be like be annoyed about change, why pick Fortnite where they change every other season and just add new stuff all the time? But yeah. I think we've lost Dan.
I think we have lost Dan.
That's awful. Sorry. I got up to there's 2 types of people, and that's all I heard.
Oh wow, you've been dropping for you dropped for a while then.
Saying that there's kind of the closet racists that are just like, oh, this is attack on free speech. That's my impression of Joel.
Yeah.
And then you've got the people that are basically game purists saying they need to stop changing things in games just for the sake of it or whatever.
I mean, like
You
they've
will get
probably done.
purists
They've
all the
probably
time.
they've probably just changed the skin of the car. And like the one thing that I don't notice it whenever I do play Fortnite is, oh, that used to be a police car. What the fuck? This game's changed, man. Like, just get the fuck over it. It's a fucking skin.
I mean, the thing that I was just saying to Joel was that they change every season. There's always something new in Fortnite. That's kind of half the fun of the game, because it's not going to be the same every time. That's what gives it its replayability.
Yeah.
People don't care about the fact that there isn't a car there. They care about getting like that first ranked in a match. No one cares.
Yeah, I don't play it to go and witness cars.
If I wanted to see cars, I'd go play Need for Speed.
Oh,
I'd
yeah,
play Cars,
a better game.
the game.
A better game.
Cars, the game.
Right, you
Cars, the
dissed,
game.
but on PlayStation 2, that was a fucking sick game.
Oh,
It was a really good fucking game.
I like getting the car customization options on it, just being able to change, like, have like this really rad looking Lightning McQueen.
Yeah. So the third bit of news I've got is the FDA has just approved the first prescription video game for kids with ADHD.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, for the first time, US doctors can prescribe a video game. The Food and Drug Administration has just approved Endava RX as an effective treatment for kids with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder.
What's the name?
It's called Endava RX.
Oh, great. My keyboard.
Children aged 8 to 12 years old can now be prescribed gaming sessions on this, in which players pilot a small aircraft through a variety of alien environments, including icy rivers, blah, blah, blah. The game has been specifically constructed to improve attention in youngsters with ADHD, potentially in combination with other treatments, depending on each person, and it's certainly much more fun than having to take tablets every single day. They went on record to say the Endava RX device offers a non-drug option for improving symptoms associated with ADHD in children and is an important example of the growing field of digital therapy and digital therapeutics. The FDA is committed to providing regularity pathways that enable patients timely access to safe and effective innovative digital
You really
therapy.
can't speak right now.
No, I can't. I've also got Ben outside my window as well. It's putting me up. But
give him the finger.
I did. But yeah, apparently it's also huge news because it's the first time that video games have actually been used for the better and haven't been sort of criticized for, everyone doing bad shit.
So violence,
nice.
Yeah,
exactly.
I never understood that as an argument, is why video games cause violence. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think if you have someone who is not mentally stable and they come across something that encourages that, yes, but it's more, that's a wider issue. That's not a video game issue. That's a wider issue from them. Because most people I know who have played shooting games or whatever haven't gone, hey, you know what would be really fun is if I took this girl around the corner, raped her, and then went on to a bank killing spree.
Yeah, and they go, and as they get arrested, they go, "Why have you done this?" And they go, "It was GTA." Shut the fuck up, man! Like,
does this mean I've got wasted yet? Just. And GTA, I think, is one of the prime ones to target.
Yeah, because it's so easy. Because there's so much bad shit that happens in it. They're just like, well, we'll just blame this. There, people will agree with us.
It's also one of the most mainstream ones, I think, that is of that type.
I think having played it, I had this very sort of bad image of GTA when I was younger because my brother got San Andreas when it released. I wasn't allowed to touch it. It was like, there's this. In today's climate, a lot of what's covered in that game, I think, is quite like I'd be all right. I wouldn't necessarily be all right if my kid came across it because it's still mature themes. But it's one of those things where people are like, oh, you can buy a hooker and then kill her. It's like there isn't really that much freedom in the game anymore, and people don't play. Especially if you look at how GTA Online's gone. It's gone down the stupid route of let's have massive stunts and rocket cars and all this.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit like Saints Row. I think Saints Row did it well, where it's essentially GTA, but there's such a silliness to it that you can't take it seriously. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's a bit
Saints
caricature.
4 was amazing. Saints 4 was so good.
Is that the one with
President.
superpowers?
Yeah, it's the one where they basically turned it into the Matrix, and I'm like, I'm down for that. I don't play GTA because I've just never been that interested in it. But as soon as you turn it into Saints Row, and it's like, oh yeah, you're in the Matrix and you're fighting aliens, and the cops are all part of a simulation made by the aliens, and
you kick everyone in the dick.
and you have a sword, but it's a dildo, and it's like, great, sure, yeah, I'm down, I can do that.
Like, I would, if I was...
Oh my god! Fuck! Sorry. Oh shit!
You're right.
Yeah, the place I was on for the article just started playing an advert really fucking loud in my ear. Oh my god! It was like, coming soon! I'm like, fuck!
Nice.
Anyway.
Yeah, if I were to be more concerned about showing a kid anything, it will be something like the Doom series, where...
Nah, I don't.
No, I know it's not covering like real life topic. It's got that level of abstraction from real life, but there's a lot of like, I think for me, graphic imagery stands out more, and also the themes of like hell. It's very kind of like, I think to a kid it's more like there's a spook factor and there's like a slightly unjarring feel about it, which I think
it depends what it is that you're trying to shield the child from, whether it's trying to shield them from graphic imagery, whether it's trying to shield them from the cruelty of real life, whatever it is. I think that's an individual opinion on what you wouldn't show a child.
I'll tell you what is probably actually a worse one, and it's for a specific scene, Wolfenstein.
Oh, I know exactly what you're on about.
Yeah,
I mean, there is a reason why they put age ratings on video games.
I'd be less okay with Wolfenstein because I think it has the elements of Doom of graphic stuff, but it also has some very emotionally jarring things go on in it. And
I remember
it's the graphic that makes you. It's not like, oh, I'm tearing this guy's head off. Oh, yay, look at how powerful I am. It is to the core quite.
Yeah.
I was playing. I've been playing through The Last of Us again before I get the second one next week. And I also remember, like, I played it when I was like 14, I think. Maybe a little bit up, maybe like 15, 16. But anyway, I shouldn't have been that age. And I remember I played it, and like, have you both played The Last of Us?
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah. You haven't?
Joel.
I know.
Okay, right. Without spoiling it for Joel, but you know the very beginning scene, Ben?
Yes. I as soon as you started saying it, I knew exactly what you meant.
Mate, I went downstairs as a 15-year-old kid and was like crying my eyes out. And my mum was like, what's going on? And I was like, it's so emotional because it practically is real life. And like, I think at that point, then it made me realize that because I played it again recently, and obviously I know what happens, but I still felt that emotion, but I felt like I was so matured that I could handle it properly. I wasn't just sort of like, it just kind of, I was like, right, fuck, this is what's happening. That's really sad. And I definitely think that the age ratings are so ignored, but it's not until I had that experience myself, I was like, shit, well, this is why there's age ratings. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, as a complete flip, I remember when I watched like Star Wars 4: A New Hope for the first time, and as soon as they like destroy Alderaan, I literally burst into tears. I'm like, Mum, they've just blown up a planet for this film. What is going on? But yeah, that's an extreme.
They actually did blow it up as well.
True fact.
Spoilers, I haven't seen that film.
George Lucas arranged for the mass genocide to happen.
Right, boys, we're making a film. We need to go all out, okay? We need to go all out. So I've actually built a Death Star, and we need to find a planet full of dicks. Right, that one. Fucking blow it up.
Oh, man.
But yeah, I mean, this isn't really news, but like one last little comment is, speaking of Last of Us 2, apparently people are really pissed off that Ellie is being portrayed as gay.
Oh, yeah, I've seen the Metacritic scores. It's amazing to think. It's almost as bad as the Warcraft 3 one. But it feels... Well, no, what I mean to say... I mean, it is on that level of bad, but if it's comparable to anything, I think it's more comparable to Star Wars, how they gave it a good sort of review for like The Last Jedi, and the audience score just shat on it so hard. Just because people weren't happy with like one thing. To be honest, I have gripes. Huh?
Last Jedi is the best Star Wars film. Anyway, moving on.
I think me and Ben would disagree. Just
moving on.
We're not having that lynch here just yet.
No.
But yeah, it's amazing just how audience. This is the thing though about audience. This is tying back into the audience thing from earlier. It's just how anal people are about like how purist they're. It's like with the whole world.
Oh mate, did you say anal? Hi, I'm Susie, and this is Dave, and we know you've been watching us for 20 minutes, mate.
I think that has been the best throwback to any segment.
Just heard the word anal and just got fucking wet, mate.
We had to come over and talk to your son about anal.
Where's your 6-year-old son, mate? He needs to see him put his cock in my ear.
Yeah, put down them cornflakes, mate.
That's not milk in your bowl, mate. That's cum.
Oh, I always wondered why it tasted a little bit more salty. But yeah, go to tie it off. Hopefully,
Moving on.
It's like people complain about World of Warcraft, a game that's at least 15 years old now, and it's like, oh, World of Warcraft shit, and it's like, well, it's a very different game to what the core used to be, and everyone thinking that Classic was going to revive that. No, because there are those people lived and died for that game, and then most of them are in houses and all that. Everyone's trying to recapture the essence of, oh yeah, I'm going to go into this part of the world and experience this for the first time. It's like, well, it's already been done. that essence is never going to be captured again. It's I think just this essence of people holding on to something like a better time, but not being able to go back to it.
I downloaded Jak and Daxter. Sorry, I know this is still on topic. I downloaded Jak and Daxter 3, and I remember as a kid that was my favorite one of the series. And I played it the other day, and I got about 10 minutes into it and went, "Fuck, this is shit!" Like, because I've played such upgraded and better games that going back to that, I was like, it's nostalgic, but it's so flawed. It's
not the same,
And I think that's what they're trying to do with all these remasters. Like, obviously, Crash 4 is really good because
Clank as well.
Ratchet and Clank, because they're basically taking the games and doing something new with them. Whereas when I played the Spyro trilogy remastered, I was like, cool, it looks good, but it's the same fucking thing. Yeah. And with the new Ratchet and Clank and like the new Crash, they're obviously going to do new things with it, which I think is then taking that nostalgia and making it better.
One of the things I realized, this suddenly clocked when I was watching the Crash reveal today, is that the reason they've done the remastered trilogies is it gives them an opportunity, because it's made by Toys for Bob now. It gives them that opportunity to turn around and be like, right, how are we going to make this game in a way that people can play it and make it usable? They can use those trilogies as the trial run for Crash 4.
It's the exact thing with Ratchet and Clank. It's like the remasters actually serve as reboots, and it's the same with Call of Duty. That okay, it's not a remaster of COD 4, but the Modern Warfare series acts as a reboot to try and do that. I like the original Modern Warfare story. I don't really think it needs a reboot, but there are games which they're using it as a reboot to go, right, okay, we may have screwed up something along the way that people are not happy with. Let's try and re-envision what the history or future of that game would be.
Did you know that Modern Warfare is set before COD 4?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just making sure.
But they're not. It's not even the same because they've changed tiny facts. So it is an alternate universe.
Fair.
Fair. The way that Al-Assad gets into power is different. I think the way the Zakayev family is managed is slightly different.
Spoilers.
Yeah, if you haven't played Modern Warfare, have fun. Right.
Anyway, yeah, sorry.
We've gone on enough about games. Let's hear some lovely music suggestions from.
Oh, so I thought last week we had a wonderful conversation about kind of young upcoming artists and using kind of other people's music to inspire themselves. I kind of liked the idea of having a conversation about where do we think things might go, and definitely given recent events with lockdown, I wanted to see what your opinions are on the way that certain gigs have been happening recently. Firstly, I'm sure you'll have read about this. There have been a couple of gigs that happened where they've had drive-in concerts.
Oh, mad!
I haven't heard about that.
Yeah, there's been a couple happening. I think the first one was in Denmark, and there's been a couple in Germany as well since, and a few all over the world now. But in fact, they've just started planning one at Newmarket Racecourse in Cheltenham. But
mad!
it's the idea that in the same way that you'd watch a drive-through movie, you just drive up in your car, you're given a space, and you watch an artist from your car. You watch a gig as if you're at a gig, except you're in your car, and apparently people are using like their windscreen wipers for like the and like flashing their lights and tooting their horns at the end of the song and things. And
I think that's good though, because it's that vibe of capturing the essence of what a gig is, as well as being able to monetize off it, which with a lot of these online gigs, you've not really been able to do because.
Nah, man, watch the Take That gig, man. It's fucking awesome. Watch the Compare the Meerkat Take That live stream. It's incredible. Yeah. It's so good. Have you seen it, Ben?
I haven't, but I know people that have, and I've
oh my
heard good
god,
things.
It's so good. Like I was sat, I initially I didn't watch it live. My mum told me about it, and I was like, yeah, all right, whatever. And I went on it, and like fucking 45 minutes later, I've watched the entire thing, and I'm just there in tears. Like that was amazing, man. That was incredible. Anyway, sorry.
Dan getting emotional over Take That.
I love the flood, man. It's just such a good tune.
Is that replacing the 1975 as your new favourite now?
No.
Gonna start getting Take That tops and banners.
Hi, my name's Rabid Reviewer. I really love Take That. Look at my Take That tattoo on my penis.
Stop talking. Stop. Just stop.
Deserve that.
Another similar gig thing that I thought I'd throw out is this idea of so there is a single performance that has been recorded and played live on the Stephen Colbert show. The Flaming Lips.
Oh God!
Have you seen this?
No, I haven't. But I just
seen
fucking hate them. I hate them.
So the Flaming Lips are described as a
pile of shit.
A veteran indie band is what they're described as.
No,
but they performed
veteran shit bands, Dan things.
Their hit "Race for the Prize" live on the Late Show with Stephen Colbert, where the entire band and audience all had their own dedicated inflatable bubbles. We're talking those literal, you know, when you see like people running each other in these bubbles on like water parks and things, and just like literally the entire audience is in those.
I'm guessing the artists aren't.
Oh no, they are. All of them have their own like on stage. There's even a giant bubble to encompass the entire drum kit.
I was thinking, like, how would they do that? I imagine a lot of it's going to be wireless stuff because,
yeah. I mean, there obviously there's going to be some space for cables. I'm sure they will have worked that in, but yeah, the majority of it was done wirelessly.
I can just imagine playing the drums.
I'm gonna look
just
this up
slowly.
Yeah,
that's kind of drifting around. Dan just wants to see a drum kit in a bubble.
It looks like a joke. It looks like something that you'd record for a music video, not an actual gig.
But like an OK Go video.
Yeah.
That's something I haven't
OK
seen.
Go haven't done anything like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, when's the last thing they did that was like,
I haven't
viral?
seen a new song released from them, but they keep doing new music videos for some of their older, more famous tracks.
It's thinking of their viral stuff. I remember the first video I was shown, which was in school from our music teacher, was this.
This is the most ridiculous fucking thing I've ever seen.
I think it's the second one.
This is so fucking dumb.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, look at that
wait,
ninja.
No, wait, ninja. Look at that. Look how fucking...
I mean, a mosh pit would be so much fun in that, but...
That is just ridiculous. There's like 8 people watching because they can't fit every... Never mind. I'm gonna fucking turn that absolute... Yeah.
Yeah, what... So...
question of like where we are going with gigs at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically the question I was going to pose is what do you guys think of that kind of stuff and those ideas, and where do you think that's going to take us, and what's next for the live scene?
Joel, do you want to go first? Hopefully we go back to the normal and not have those bubbly shit. Just imagine if that became the standard and it's like, oh, well, we don't have coronavirus anymore, but anyone can get sick. So you now need to have one of these plastic bubbles to walk around in. Like, just imagine.
Does the venue provide the bubbles? Does the band provide the bubbles? Do you have to bring your own bubble?
Well, it would destroy the point of certain artists as well when they do stuff live. So we had at my place of work, Insane Clown Posse come and play. And the reason they came to our venue was actually because Academy refused to meet one of their things. And the things that they wanted to do, they wanted to get like ridiculous amounts of Coke bottles and just chuck it at the audience. And so, of course, Academy were like, well, we don't want to ruin shit, so you're not doing that here. And then our venue was like, oh, yeah, we get piss on the floors regularly, so let's just do that anyway.
Ridiculous.
But just that wouldn't translate well into a bubble situation. You're like, I'm going to chuck this out. Ah! And then you just kind of get like this little bit of rain just above your head. It's like...
Yeah, but I must admit, I don't ever go to gigs to have Coke bottles just thrown at me.
Yeah,
man, it was mental. The amount
I can imagine.
Because we had a club night in the same room as well, so we had to pack things down super quick. Whilst the rest of the venue was open, but there was so much liquid on the floor that we had to get a buffer in, and even the buffer didn't remove all the liquid.
I mean, I've been at gigs as a punter, if you like. Where there's been like a 20-minute turnaround from the band finishing and then the venue opening itself up as a nightclub, and it's like I was that close to getting a signed copy of the new album, and then they're like, oh, sorry, you're gonna have to go because we need to clear out. And the artist is like, oh, I'll come and find you outside afterwards, and then we had to go and jump on the train because it was the last train home, and I was absolutely gutted.
What band was it?
This was Tosca. I'm stood there
Good
just
boys.
being absolutely dwarfed by Rabia Massad. Like, please sign my CD.
We'll get him next time.
That was also the gig where his pedalboard died. It was the debut gig of the new album, of the entire tour. His pedalboard dies halfway through, and I'm the idiot stood at the front that just shouts, "You try to turn it off and on again." And I just get absolute death stares from him. And I'm like, oh my word.
I think to answer your question, Ben, the initial question you asked about whether this is a good way to go, I personally think it's fucking stupid. I think it's ridiculous, and I think it needs to stop, because we are basically trying to cling on to something that is just not possible at the minute.
Yeah.
And I definitely think that it's just like watching that. It looked so fucking dumb, because everyone's in a fucking bubble bouncing up and down like a fucking twat, whilst the entire band are also in bubbles. And it's like, rather than do this, why don't we just wait until you can just do it again?
Yeah.
Because I tell you, I'd rather, so for example, like if fucking Radiohead announced a gig and they went, you can come, but you all have to be in a bubble, I wouldn't go. I would rather wait until I can get that full experience again. So the first time I go back to live music is the proper thing. I can enjoy myself and have that moment of normality back again. I don't want to go to a gig to be shut inside a fucking bubble. I want to go to enjoy myself. And I feel like the entire time I'm just going to be, and this is another thing as well, like you think about if it's in a dark room, you're going to have lights reflecting off the bubbles themselves, and it's just going to be so fucking dumb. Like, I would rather sit at home and watch a live stream of an artist do it, because then, although you're not at a gig, you're still getting that interaction in a sense. But I just think people need to be patient. Everyone's trying to rush everything way too fucking quickly, and it's just chill out, man. It sucks, but we will get there.
I think it's good to see that people are trying to come up with ideas. I just don't think anyone's come up with any particularly great ones yet.
No.
And it's great to see these guys trying and trying to make a way that the live industry can still work. But I think, as you said, the only thing that really has been a great success so far are the live streams, which you can't really make much money off of directly. If you want to make money from that, you need to set up a donation scheme or something, and people have to then be redirected to another page. And it's like, it's not the same.
I mean, Papa Roach did their album Infest has been out for like 20 years or whatever it is. They did a gig 2 nights ago, and they charged £15 a ticket, and people bought it and went and watched it, and that's a good way for them to earn money. But obviously, if you don't have that big following like they do, then like you're kind of fucked. So you kind of need to have a donate page. Do you know what I mean?
I think this whole situation with coronavirus has ultimately shown that the live music industry, it's not a great one to adapt to situations. Like, I think you have to start thinking, what is it that means live gigs do well? Because the live music industry, from an independent standard, was dying beforehand. So why is it, like, what do people like to go? They like to go for their artists that they know. They love to go for that sort of vibe that you get from being in a massive crowd. Or if it is on the more independent side of things, a full ring, because I mean, that's still, it gives that sort of sense of you're part of this big thing. And there is so much that is removed as soon as you have the bubbles or the live streaming, because then that sort of intimacy it's gone. There's no intimacy. That's ultimately what people go for, is a more intimate experience with the people that they listen to, because they like their music, they like the characters that are there, and they want to connect further with those artists. You remove that as soon as you do the live streams and all that. Don't get me wrong, I think live streaming is particularly good, and some people have been making more of a note, because there's a guy literally around the corner from where I live. He does live streams in his back garden, but he'll also play it out loud on his speaker so everyone around can hear. And it's worked as a great marketing tool, but it's no replacement for the real thing.
Yeah.
No.
It's an interesting one.
Yeah, I just think obviously because we're in such weird times that everyone's just trying to grasp at what it should be, and we can't have what it should be. So we have to, like, and this is the one thing that I said to loads of people at the beginning of this, because obviously a lot of people were panicking. They were like, what's going to happen? I said, at the end of the day, everyone is in the same situation, and it fucking sucks, and it really does suck. But I just think that if we all collectively can just be patient. I mean, like, if you look at what the lockdown's like now compared to 2 months ago. I feel like things are starting to ease off slowly. It's not back to normal, but we're getting to a sense of normality. I just think give it 2, 3, 4 months maybe, which seems long, but like we can go out and see our families now. You can have like a bubble with one other person from a different household. If we're at that point now, give it 3, 4 months and we could just be back at gigs again. So why try and rush it with such ridiculous things beforehand?
I'll tell you what is
patient.
bad though, is the fact that the whole coronavirus thing has happened around the time it is, because festival season, which is where live money live
I was supposed to play a festival and I was so fucking pissed when I found out I can't play it. So
I was going to say live gigs, just live music in general thrives at festival time. So for this to happen, really, it shits on like the big stuff like Reading and all that. It shits on smaller industry like venues that will pick up like more of a not fate. What am I thinking? Because Tramlines has it. They've got like the main stage stuff, and then they have the Tramlines Fate or whatever, which is like artists that are not on the bill but are host these venues. But yeah, you've got people that pick up off like the back of the main events, which do well. And it's just it's such bad timing for this to all happen around then. Like if this happened in September, I think even the lockdown would be significantly quicker because no one's going to be going out as much. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw this go on a lot longer and keep the industries out because of the way people are dealing with it, though, and wanting to go back to normality quickly, or even just downright ignoring rules.
Yeah. I went to a place in Manchester. I recently sold an item to them, and I've never seen such perfect regulations. Like I went in, they sprayed my hands with sanitizer, made me literally stand there for like 5 minutes and do that. Then I sold the item to them. They asked me to put it on the floor in front of me, walk back. They then put on gloves. They picked it up. They searched it. They went, yeah, that's fine. We'll take that. And then they asked me to sign a piece of paper. So they got a pen with a glove, and then they got a fucking antibacterial wipe, wiped it down, gave me the pen. I did it with the pen, gave it back to them. They did it again. And then when they actually gave me the money for the item that I just bought, they sprayed it with more sanitizer and actually washed all the notes because, you know, they don't know where that's been. And I was like, oh my God, that's what, like, people might think that's excessive, but that's obviously what we need. And then you go to somewhere like Tesco's, and everyone's just like, oh, sorry, mate, did you want that? And then they just lean out in front of you. And it's so, like, they try, but they just don't try hard enough. And then, like, it's just people were just not trying enough. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And after seeing that place where I sold my stuff, it was nice to see that other people were taking it as seriously. And that you just get like these big places who only care about money. So like, yeah, everything's fine, man. Just rush in. Like, do what you want, man. It's fine. And it's not.
The thing is, it's not all people trying to get back to. I think some of it is people trying to profit off the corporate stuff. So it's, again, the reason why people want to massively go down live stream route. But it's some people who just like don't want their life to be disrupted. So rather than kind of accepting that this is going on, they're like, nah, well, I'll just do this anyway. My dad is one of these people. The amount of times where he's like, oh, I've just gone into London. It's like, don't go into... To be honest, he's had to go into London for site reviews. So I imagine he's keeping the best he can. But it's like, he then kind of wants me to come around and all that. It's like, I would love to, but you've been to London. It means you're at high risk for this sort of stuff. And it's people, it's not only just people who refuse to let it interfere with life how it normally would be. It's also people, I think, that get caught up by conspiracy. That there's something larger going on here.
Oh my God. At the beginning of this fucking outbreak, I was called a dick by so many people because I have been... in quarantine since the 15th of March. And everyone was like, you're taking it too seriously. Like, what's the rate that's going to give it? You're a fucking idiot. Like, stop being so over dramatic. And I was like, well, I'm not. And I sort of just took it on the chin and was like, right, we'll see. And then about 3 weeks later, the same people who said it were like, "Oh my god, this is so serious," and I was like, "What do you think I've been trying to say?" And those people believed that this was just this thing that can't ever get here. It's impossible. It's in other countries. It won't get here. And it's like, well, it fucking will. And that's why it's important for us, all of us, to do our bit. But, you know, people don't have that attitude. They just want to do whatever the fuck they want. And then that's how this happens.
I was...
Sorry, that was a bit
cautious. I was less cautious in February. I met up with one of my mates again in Manchester, who was doing some sort of music workout over there. But I briefly came and visited, and it was like, we were talking about it. It's like, yeah, we're taking around hand sanitizers, but it's like, to be honest, this isn't gonna hurt if we get it. But I think I was underestimating not necessarily its lethality, but its spreadability. And then it comes down to that last week, when, well, I say last week, the week before lockdown was mentioned on the Monday of whenever it was, and I had 2 gigs to get out. One of them went very nicely. In fact, Ben played for that one,
nice.
Which was good. And I think, yeah, no, that was generally all right. I feel like it wasn't anything too much to worry about in terms of, because it was held at the uni that we're at.
Yeah, I mean, so it was in quite a large space as well. So if there was an issue of the uni turning around and saying, look, if you're going to do this, you need to social distance, that would have been totally a viable option, because it was literally in the biggest room of the entire building, because it was in the atrium, which is literally one length of the building to the other.
Yeah, I've been there.
We've had people, in fact, for that gig, not everyone was on the same floor. They were going up a few tiers, so there was a nice division per se. But I think this is also the other thing that people underestimated it leading up to. I had an artist. Now, technically, they should have been playing on a Thursday for a gig. My business partner forgets to reply to an email, which means we miss it. I'm there trying to sort a thing, and I get a last minute confirmation we can do like a Wednesday or a Thursday at a different venue, and our artist is not 100% happy, which is entirely fair, because it's like, it's going to have a less, there's something about the venue we're going at, which was Parish, which it has a bigger vibe to it. Yeah. Like, it's not necessarily the best place to have a gig all the time, but the alternative was to go to Wood Street, in the New Quarter. It's New Quarter, isn't it? Northern Quarter. And yeah, it was like, we've got this all set up. This is the next best thing, and we'll have to see it. And the artist was like, to be honest, I'd rather it be here. And that was entirely fair. I probably would have said the same if I was in that position, unless I really wanted to hold a gig. And we were talking about doing it for like the next month and the month after, because that's when the earliest it was. And it was like, I genuinely don't know what's going to happen with lockdown. This is the best shot we have for at least a month. But even then, we don't know what next month's going to bring. And sure enough, the Monday, everything's shut down. But this is the thing. I think it not only do we need to, as part of the music industry, prepare for these things a lot more in advance. I think it's a governmental thing as well. It's a massive infrastructure thing where everyone misjudged. I think in my mind, it was like, because I was studying, it's less of a worry about, for me, what to do as part of the music industry. And I was thinking it's more of a governmental thing, but I think it's as much all of our things to do. As the music industry, we're going to say, if this could be an issue, we need to put pressure on the government to do this sort of stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, I remember seeing there was one gig that I had tickets to and one gig that I was considering getting tickets to. And both of those got cancelled before lockdown, because the artist turned around and said, look, this is an issue that isn't being handled by the government. We're going to take matters into our own hand and say that we're going to wait until everything's finished to reschedule an entire tour, because we don't want our fans to be at risk. And I think those guys made a really big move. And I was upset when they turned around and said, yeah, the gig's not happening. Although they were really good, and they repaid all of the tickets and everything. But
it takes everyone doing their part. I think yeah, as said, I put all this like, the government should have thought this out, but actually, the government is incompetent and really, or has the capability of being incompetent, and we need to equally put ourselves out there.
Sorry, whilst you guys have been talking, I've just been typing in coronavirus and the music industry on Google to see what comes up, right? First thing that comes up is coronavirus might kill the music industry. Maybe it needs to die.
Mixed thoughts. I have mixed thoughts on that.
Coronavirus
it's
should be a turning point for the music industry.
I mean, it will
A
be.
turning point, yeah, not a good one.
Been.
Yeah, like literally, I don't know if you can see that, but literally at the very, very top there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But there's a lot of positives, which I don't think we've really got the time for this. But
No.
maybe that could be like next week's talking point, is talking about coronavirus and this in a bit more depth, especially as it's quite relevant. I mean, you're talking about the whole bubble concept of bubbles, but we could even perhaps go into like again more into the future of what's going on, and maybe even stuff that's more like records as well as just live music. So
Yeah.
I mean, it might be that in the next week something comes out, some new big research article comes out, and the government actually make a reasonable decision or something. We don't know, but
yeah.
Until then, we just kind of have to stay indoors and don't go out, but do go out, and don't go to work, but do go to work, and don't
Did
get on
you
the
watch
bus.
the Mac Lucas thing?
Yeah,
I'm
we
pretty sure you
spoke
mentioned
about
this
this last
Yeah,
week.
no, I know, but I was
Yeah.
saying, have you watched it since?
he's
Yeah,
done a
right.
new one with the Mary Poppins Theatre Group, and it is impressive. Yeah,
Nice. I'll have to give that a watch.
I want to check that out now.
yeah, full.
I can
full
just
orchestra,
imagine
full
like this
eyes
musical
people.
of "Don't go out, go out, stay at home, don't stay at home." Be
Oh no,
brave."
this was with his baked potato.
Ah,
I can't believe he actually released that as a legit song on Spotify as well.
that's a James Urey level move there.
Yeah,
By the
James
way-
Ure, what a boy.
You need to check him out. He has released it's like silly.
James
but fun.
Ure and the Fridge Doors songs, pretty much all about food and relationships.
Red
his
Stripe.
latest is so one of the first is Red Stripe. Red Stripe. Why won't you be my wife?
I asked
and then
you
he's gotta
nicely.
sing- He did indeed. One of his most recent ones is called Crispy Seaweed.
Yes, crispy seaweed. It's an experience. You just need to watch it.
Yeah.
Before we close out, I remember in my second
21st night, September.
I think it was in my second year. He just sat because one of our guys at our uni, a guy called Charlie Hoover, organized like a mini thing as part of the Music Society, and it had some like proper instrumentalists and all that. But there was this guy who, for the year prior, had done parts a module in experimental music, and he literally did a performance of a kettle, just making a cup of tea.
Yep.
What the fuck is it with your uni and weird shit?
I mean, he
First
also
you've got a fucking clock knobhead. Now you've got a fucking dick using a kettle.
He also
honest,
did a
it was
performance where
funny,
he
though.
performed an entire tuba repertoire piece, and in between each section, he stopped, took out a can of beer, and just necked it, and then started the next piece.
What
And,
the fuck
he
is going on?
He went through an entire 6-pack, and that was his performance. He actually got marked on doing that. It's on YouTube. You can find it on YouTube. It's wonderful.
But what the fuck is going on, man?
I think some of it's entertaining, and like the reason Charlie put it up on there, he found it absolutely like entertaining. Just the fact that this guy got like a 2-1 for making a cup of tea,
Yeah.
and it was quite funny to watch as well. It's just like
I
this,
think there's a
is
way
this
to
is
do
what our
something
uni
like that, though.
breeds.
I have a module called Creative Tech at my uni, and at no point did I think, you know what, I might just, beat the shit out of a lamp and just go, you know what, music. Yeah, song.
Yeah. Talking about lamp, have you heard of the local association?
Shut up,
Shut
Joel.
the fuck up.
Right. We'll close it out there. Who wants to close on this one?
I did the last one. One of you two can do it, I reckon.
Come on, Ben.
Thank you for joining us for this podcast. We have been the NewNerds. NewNerds. I've already messed it up. NewNerds.
Take two.
Join us soon next week for more bants and news, and geek and music and.
And why don't you comment, Dan? Please get a tattoo of "Take That" on your penis.
Why don't you comment, Joel, never fucking speak again?